Evening, and welcome to Love and Stuff Late Edition. I wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to come on, although we normally are on at 8:30, but due to some things beyond our control, we weren't able to make that 8:30 time. But I wanted to come on, of course, to check in with the Love and Stuff community, and in particular, those of you who've heard the news of one of the great titans of our people and times, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who made his transition. And I wanted to check in because this year it's all about improving the quality of relationships. And so I wanted to check in with those of you who I know have stories, as do I, of the privilege of meeting him, being around him, being in the same space. He was African American royalty for us, and certainly a senior statesman and activist. If ever I would use that word, I'd use it to describe him. And so, of course, being a 70s baby, I didn't see a lot of the things that happened in the 60s, right? But I have vivid memories of this Herculean um, gentleman, gentle giant, kind man, funny man. And I wanted to let the Love and Stuff community know that, of course, we will be including in our celebration at the end of the month a segment on Reverend Jackson. How could we not? And so I wanted to come and check in with you on that, especially, but also wherever you're watching from, whether you're with us on TikTok or Facebook, from which we emanate, the Marcus Our Homes page, or Love and Stuff community page, whether you're on Twitch TV or YouTube events. I'm grateful that you're here. I think we're everywhere except for Instagram. Couldn't get that fixed and going, but we will have to double back and do a live just for our Instagram folks. But I wanted to come on because we are in February, and this is Fat Tuesday, right? Those that are that eat the punchkis. I don't. I have in the past. I'm just not. I'm very careful with the sweets. Let me say it that way. And um, some are now then going into Lenten season, right? Um, and it's an amazing time. Can be an amazing time of renewal and refreshing if you decide that, right? But in the Love and Stuff community, particularly inside Love and Stuff, we're on this self care journey that's on a continuum. And each year, each month, we have a focus. Again, this year for February, the focus is eating to live, not living to eat. And so I am doing my best in my relationship with food, because food and I have a very funny relationship. And I'm doing my best because there are these predispositions to hypertension, to diabetes, that I want to ensure that I'm doing my very best, and I'm not living to eat. I'm eating to live. I want to improve the way in which I consume food and the interesting relationship I have. And when I improve that relationship, the quality of all of my relationships around food and people will improve. And so I challenge you to join us inside Love and Stuff. And I just shared with them, I purchased this nut milk maker, and if you're not familiar with it, it is kind of like a blender, but it can make varying um, um, items, food items. And I think I'm going to grab it in a second if I can. Um, eh, well, I don't know if I need to show you it, but it has a juicing function on it. You can do soy milk, you can do nut milk, you can do a milkshake, you can do like a rice pudding, a paste. Has different things you can do with it. right? And so there are people who don't drink dairy, and you put your nuts of choice in there, pecans or almonds or whatever kind of milk you want to make, and water, and you can make your milk, right? Well, I use it for juicing. I use it, what I've decided for, as a part of my pledge for this month, and I'm going to see how this, goes forward. I am, oh, did I hit the wrong button? Okay. I am replacing 3 meals of my Monday through Friday, 3 meals with juicing. My goal is to get up to 5 meals that I'm replacing out of, let's say, 15 meals with juice. And not just like orange juice, right? So what I did today, my juice was for the lunch, and I had beetroot, had ginger, had lemon, I had celery, I had papaya, and I had a red apple. I normally do a green apple, and I think I have one green apple left. So I did ginger, lemon, beetroot, papaya, and celery, and apple. And it left quite a bit of pulp, right? And so I take some of that pulp because I did not peel the lemon. I sliced the lemon. I did not peel the papaya or take the skin off. I took the skin off one piece of beet, not each piece. I cut them up, and celery and apple. I didn't, core the apple or anything. So I put it in there and I put it on the nut milk maker setting. And so it really, grinds so I took some of the pulp, and I will later put that with apple sauce, prune juice, and grains. And that will be um, a snack. That'll be a snack. And um, so far it's been good. And I drank the whole glass. I put a little black pepper in it, a little cayenne pepper in it. And I wasn't craving food as I thought I would have done today because I only had a peanut butter cookie and a coffee this morning. So normally I'm eating more. I'm having normally an avocado, boiled eggs, and yogurt for breakfast or something similar to that. Very light breakfast. Lunch is typically a salad and some soup, maybe a protein on that salad, and dinner is typically a little heavier. What I'm trying to do is kind of mix it up each day to have a lighter dinner, a heavier lunch, a heavier breakfast, a lighter lunch, lighter dinner. Just mixing it up based on this relationship that I have with food, because I come from a time and place where you finished everything on your plate. And as small as people think I am, I'm normally one that finished everything on my plate, unless it was something that they had to force me to eat. And that has stayed with me. I think the way I was socialized with food, it was a comfort, it was part of community, but you ate everything. You didn't have this mentality of wasting anything, right? And so I will eat leftovers until they're ready to spoil, right? I have people in my family that don't even fool with leftovers. That's not me. I socialize with eating everything that's put before me. And that creates some, uh, I'm going to call it capacity issues. I'm going to call it some discipline issues, right? To cut the plate off when you should stop eating because it's on your plate. And so people say, oh, only, heavy people would have that issue. No, people who are socialized with food in a certain way would have that challenge. And so here I am going into another year and realizing that I've got to do my best to take as best care of myself as possible. And so, just for this month, February, and I'm going to see if it carries over into March, a part of my eating to live is replacing 3 meals a week with juicing. And I'm hoping to get to the 5 meals a week with the juicing. And again, it is fruits and vegetables. And sometimes I mix it up with other fruits. Sometimes I'll put a little mango in there, right? Sometimes it's cucumber along with the celery. So I mix it up, but I'm doing it because I want to create more a healthy balance around the foods that I eat. Now, those other 12 meals during the week are not meals that I go insane. I'm pretty much a salad, protein, chicken, fish kind of person, and I might have one piece of red meat a week or every other week. Now, on Saturdays and Sundays, I eat what I want to eat, but I eat in moderation. So that might mean that even though there's a whole plate of something, I can't eat all of the plate of something. And that requires some willpower and discipline as well. So I don't really hold myself to that on Saturdays and Sundays. Now, I don't splurge because I'm not a fast food person for the most part. Every now and then I want a Big Mac and fry, but that might be once a month. Or a sausage McMuffin, egg and cheese. That might be once the month. I might have a pizza, and I've come a long way because I used to eat an entire pizza in one sitting. Um, and I've come a long way with that. Um, I might eat a couple slices of the pizza, put it away, and try to come back, before it spoils a few days later to spread it out, right? Or spaghetti. I'm a big Italian fan, and pastas, and breads, and sandwiches. So I kind of have to space those out, right, if I'm going to do them on Saturday. Because I'm teaching myself, reteaching myself about my relationship with food. Okay. And the more that I'm teaching myself, it gives me a little bit of confidence about how I will teach others, because sometimes I'm socializing with others around food, right? And food is a great way to socialize with those you love, particularly. And I get that from Herbert Holmes, who would feed anybody, but he said, be careful who you spend your eating time with, because at eating, you should be your most relaxed. You should be your most vulnerable. You shouldn't be on the edge and eating. And I kind of agree with that and not agree with it, but I've adopted it. And normally I'm having meals with people that I trust and love. It's almost like the king with the cupbearer, right? You have the cupbearer that tastes your food. Well, I have the people around me who I believe I can trust and love. That's my way. So it's probably not necessarily um, my introduction to a relationship. Might not be the first thing. It might be coffee for me, or it might be a book reading. Food to me is much more intimate, and so now that I'm socializing myself differently around it, I'm going to be teaching others how to socialize me in the choices that we make for restaurants, because not every restaurant is going to have the meal options that you want. And so I want you to think about it in this month. If you are eating to live or living to eat, the living to eat is mostly just eat whatever you want. Your food leads you, right? Times of tumult lead you. Times of comfort lead you. Comfort food leads you. And you're just following a pattern that is neither monitored or healthy for you. That's when you're living to eat. The opposite is eating to live. Eating the foods that are going to feed you, nourish you, strengthen you, help to um, support your systems, cardiovascular, and all the other respiratory, all of the systems. Foods feed those, right? And so you want to feed your body as a system so that it'll be a well oiled machine and run and run and run and be satisfied with long life. That's eating to live. Think about the same thing in your relationships. Think about the same things in your relationships. Is the relationship driving the actions that you take, or is there some other goal that you come together with an individual for that drives the direction of the relationship? Is it based on the person's whims, personalities, idiosyncrasies, or is there some collective or covenant goal that the coming together of two people, friendship or otherwise, that there is some outcome that you expect out of this relationship. Maybe it's companionship, you know, but maybe it is to build a business, right? You might have a friend you'd go up in a partnership with. Maybe it is for protection or community, right? Well, what if you're led in that relationship just by the whims of the other individual? Are you really living in that relationship to love and be loved? Or are you just satisfying and seeking to satisfy that individual? Doesn't mean that you don't want to satisfy friends and those that you have relationship with, but are you moved by every whim? Or is there some master plan that is for long term, for longevity, for some outcome, some productivity, some measurement that your relationship is expected to yield or has yield? I want you to think about that, because what are you feeding your relationships? What are your relationships feeding you? What are you eating? Are the people that say that they love you, are they demonstrating to you something else? I think I'm gonna grab that nut milk maker. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay, so this is called, I don't even know the brand. I threw the box away. Uh-oh, it looks like there's some water in it. I hope I didn't get it wet in the plug. Lord help me. There's water on the bottom. It's called a nut milk maker. I prayed to God that I didn't get the inside wet. I mean, I washed the inside, but I meant where the plug is. But okay. So it's a nut milk maker. Of course, those of you on TikTok, you probably are familiar with this. And maybe some other platforms. I'm wiping because I'm afraid that I won't have a nut maker in a minute. Okay. All right. This is the nut milk maker, and it has several settings. I don't know if you'll be able to see them up close. I'm on my phone today. And I'm gonna have to take off my glasses to see them. Ain't that funny? Oh, I can see it. So it has a juice function, soy milk, nut milk, milkshake, boil water, and that's, you can do that to clean it too. Um, Oat milk, rice paste. Oh, and then there's a cleaning function. So I guess you could just boil the water with it. And the more that I'm tipping it, the more it feels like water is. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I didn't do nothing wrong. Okay, and so this is what I used, and I think I'm gonna go grab the pulp that I did, so you'll see it. I'm not gonna eat it on here, but I will, because I'm gonna mix the pulp with applesauce and some grain. Okay, so this is the nut maker. I'm gonna be right back with the pulp. Okay, this is the pulp. I don't want to spill the because there's some juice in there. You see that? So it is. mm, Can you see it? Hope you're tracking with me across platforms. But this is the pulp. So again, I did not peel the lemon. So there's the rind, right? I did not peel the papaya, um, their skin. I, or, yep, I guess that. I didn't peel the apple. Of course, celery you don't peel. I peeled the ginger. I did. I peeled the ginger. um, and just cut it up into pieces. Apple, what did I say? Ginger, apple, and the beets, the beetroot. Now, one of the beetroot was starting to get soft, so I could literally peel back some of it and cut it easy. But another piece was a larger piece. I don't want to mess this up. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to, okay, keep sliding. I don't want it to spill. I'm going to add applesauce to it. I might throw a little bit of cinnamon in there. And I'm going to grab, let me grab the one other thing. I'm going to add, this is Field Day organic chia, flax, and quinoa granola. So it's a whole grain clusters. Um, Now this does have 10 grams of sugar in it. Um, and it does have 75 grams of sodium. So it's a little on the, it's not just untreated, which really I'd rather just have uncooked oats or bran, right? But this is um it's rolled oats. It's got, like I said, real sugar in it, and organic everything else. Okay. 8 grams of fat, 1 gram of saturated fat, um, and 5 grams of dietary fiber. Okay. So it's got a little bit more sugar than I would want in it. But I mix it with what you saw was the pulp. I don't take all of the pulp. Some of it I just wash on down the sink. I mix it with the pulp and applesauce and a little bit of prune juice. Okay. And I got that from Dr. Jennifer Caudle, who said, mix these together, get the fiber flowing, get everything flowing, right? And it does. It gets everything flowing. And this would be the snack on the same day that I'm doing the juice. So I am a snacky. I will get potato chips, which are not good for my blood pressure, the sodium, right? But I love a potato chip. I love a Dorito. But I've decided on the days that I'm juicing, and far more infrequently am I going to snack. I am sometimes at work, I'll go up on 10. There's a vending machine up there. I have no business getting those potato chips, but I get those little small bags. They cost 70 cents, which is too much. And I'll have 2 bags. I sometimes will get just the peanut butter crackers, which are more healthy. But I know I like to snack. I like a good dip. Anybody like a good dip? I like for Frito Lay's potato chips or Better Made potato chips and a French onion dip, or they got this new one. It's a bacon and horseradish dip. I could snack on those all day, and those are not, healthy snacks. So I'm trying to do snacks like a little bit of celery sticks and carrot sticks with a little bit of oregano, olive oil, and vinegar. Snacks like that, especially on the days that I'm doing the juicing. And my goal is to replace 5 of my 15 meals, projected 15. Monday through Friday, if you have breakfast, lunch, dinner, that's 5 days, 3 meals a day, that's 15 meals. Not talking about the weekends. 3 of those meals right now I'm replacing, and I want to get up to 5 meals that I'm replacing with the juice and snack combination. Okay. As a healthy option. Like I said, in general, those other meals, I don't just eat what I want to eat. I do eat, I do like kava, right? And I'll have the lentils as the base. I might have the braised lamb. I might have the crazy feta. I might have the Persian cucumbers and avocado. Okay. And that's how I eat a salad. Or I will do a salad with beets and carrots and edamame and artichoke sometimes. Sometimes those feel salty. I might have a little bit of blue cheese. I said carrots, beets, um, cucumbers, some pumpkin seeds, some sesame seeds, some cranberries. Okay. I might have ranch, which that's a little salty, but that's pretty much, I try to have a soup and salad every day. There are days that I'm going to have a steak, a piece of red meat, but not every day, not every week, maybe every other week. Used to be every week I would go to Texas Roadhouse. So I'm cutting back on those because I think to have the balance that I want, I need to have, I need to layer some of that eating. I need to make different and better choices, right? And so the regular eating, like I said, this morning I just had a peanut butter cookie, which that's sugar, peanut butter cookie and coffee. Um, Peanut butter cookie and coffee. Thought I heard the door. And normally I'm having eggs, avocado, yogurt. I mix them together. You may have seen on a couple of videos. And I might add onions. I got some red pickled onions. I might add that. I might add some garlic, minced garlic, or I might chop up some garlic and add it. Those are the kinds of things. Tonight, I'm going to round it out because it's 9:24, so I'm going to try to eat a light salad. I'm not sure what I'm doing for the dressing right this second, but a light salad, and I've got some eggs boiling so that I can smash up my last avocado. Time to go grocery shopping. Why am I sharing this? Because the food that you eat is a part of the relationship to yourself. It's a part of how you show yourself that you love yourself. And remember, all year long, Love and Stuff, we're working at improving the quality of our relationships. Now, some of you, especially those of you that are Christian faith or have certain belief systems, you're going to honor and walk through this Lenten season. And in this Lenten season, you're going to have particular things that you give up. You're going to have particular things that you stop doing. And I want you to consider how building this discipline and regimen, how it informs how you feel about your temple, about your body. Certainly, it's informing how you feel about the quintessential love, who is God, right? That we mark these 40 days of the love who came and gave his life for us. So we look at the steps of Jesus going down toward the road of sorrow, down Golgotha, right? All of this pathway from today to Holy Week, right? And we mark his steps and we read about his life and we look at the synoptic gospels and maybe even look through different lenses of how people encountered and experienced Jesus and how it aligns with how we've encountered and experienced Jesus, right? We look at his life and the sacrifices he made even before he got to the cross, the things that he gave up going down this pathway and the things that he did, the extraordinary things that he did. And we might even find some comparisons, some parallels to our life, to the trajectory of our living, to what we can give, right? And that is admirable. That is what the season is all about. But there's a part of it that should be some reflection about if this God, this Jesus, was obedient even until death, if the cause for which he did it was God's love for you and me, if God would go through all of that for you and me, we must be worth something. I don't know if you've thought about it that way. And I know there are people who come in and around Love and Stuff who have different belief systems and faith, and we honor and respect it, even though we may or may not agree with it. If you think about it, Jesus went through this particular path, which was prophesied that he would go through, right? And he goes this path and he goes through self denial in some regards. He goes through being alone. He goes through being betrayed. He goes through being denied. He walks this path and says, nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. He's taking the directive, the order that the Father has established. And the Father established it because he loves us so much and thought we were worth the payment to be back in good standing with him. So if someone in your life, like Jesus, goes through so much for you, they're telling you, they're showing you that your worth is great to them, that you're of great value to them. That's what God is showing us in this walk in Lenten season. Jesus was obedient to the walk. He did everything he was supposed to do to fulfill every prophecy, which was directed because of God's love for us. The scripture said, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for the ungodly. He commended his love so much toward us. We must be worth something. And if we're worth something, shouldn't we be worth something to ourselves? Enough to treat this body, to feed this body, to take care of this body as if it is worthy, because it is. And we know it is because the quintessential love, commended love toward us that he gave in this journey, Jesus for us. The quintessential love, loved us so much because he saw us as worthy. So I'm asking through the balance of this month, and if you're walking the Lenten season, think about how much you are worth to the quintessential love and how he has given you care and custody of your temple to take care of it, to eat, to live, to nourish your mind, body, and soul with foods that are going to bring you nourishment. And it's worth you taking a moment to decide that you're going to eat to live instead of simply living to eat. If any of this has resonated with you, I want you to join us inside Love and Stuff on this journey. I think it's both a healthy journey, but it is also a wholeness journey. And if you are um, walking the Christian faith, walking in faith, I want you to consider one thing that I said in particular, that this worthiness consideration is so powerful that you ought to translate it into how you take care of yourself. God looks out for us. Are you looking out for yourself? Are you doing what you can to adjust how and what you eat, how and the ways in which you live and navigate and interact in relationship to improve it such that the worth, your self-worth shines through? Well, I want to encourage you to do just that. And I hope that you will consider walking a journey of eating to live and not simply living to eat. I'm Marcus Holmes. I'm just grateful for this opportunity. I know it was a late edition of Love and Stuff, a shorter one, but I wanted to make sure I jumped on and took the time to share with you some things I'm doing in the journey that I've been sharing inside Love and Stuff. I want to share with you in the hopes that you will consider part of upping your love game, which is what we do in the Love and Stuff community as a mantra. We up our love game, is loving yourself. And can we really say we love ourselves if we're not taking care of ourselves? There might be underlying reasons why, but I don't know that you would really have a good leg to stand on to say, yeah, I love myself, but I ain't going to take care of myself. Those go together. So I want you to really take the time to make sure that you're taking great care of yourself. All right. See you soon. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you so very, very much. And I haven't really done it on the phone in quite some time. So I'm going to figure out how to end the stream. And thank you for joining. Click share and tag someone to join in the conversation about eating to live and not simply living to eat. Yep, that's me not figuring out exactly how to do this.
Yeah, 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 oh, yeah, mm, yeah, born and bred, saved by love, count my blessings from